Hello and welcome to part 2 about the citrine ray of ecstasy. So in this video, I'm going to talk more about what it means to move our consciousness from our minds into our bodies. And I'm going to do that by doing something a bit unconventional, for me, that is, but not so surprising since you all know how much I love the tarot. I do monthly energy forecasts using the tarot. So we're going to talk about this through one of the most misunderstood tarot cards of all time. Can you guess what it's going to be before I show you? Okay, here it is. Boom! The Tower. We're going to talk about the Tower. So, in all honesty, I am being completely genuine when I say this. This is my favorite card in the whole deck. When this card comes up, I go inside. Yes! Yay! Ah! I am relieved. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But first of all, look at the image of this card. So this card is showing an egoic response to this energy. It is showing destruction. It is showing danger. It is showing collapse. It is showing despair. It is showing panic. Oh my goodness, my world is falling apart. Okay. But see, also at the top, there is a crown at the top of this tower that is being decapitated by lightning coming through. And that is a big key. And that starts to show us more of a soul's perspective and the body's perspective of this energy. So I believe that the tower should be renamed Liberation. Liberation. The tower, the reason why I love the tower so much is because it indicates that we are free. It is revealing to us that we are now free, that we have liberated ourselves from something that was caging us, that was imprisoning us, that was quenching our life force energy, that was controlling us, that was toxic to us. And so this energy is a gift. And this energy, experienced through the body rather than the mind, is ecstatic. It is so pleasurable. The image on this, and this is, by the way, the traditional Rider-Waite tarot. I'm going to show a few other tarot card images of the tower in a few minutes. But this is in showing the egoic perspective of the tower. It is showing basically the destruction of the ego. And the ego is a construct of our minds. And so that is why when we are experiencing liberation sometimes, if we are stuck in an egoic, mindful perspective of it, it can feel like this. And we can end up feeling like a victim rather than feeling the liberation. So let me talk a little bit about that. The victim is the shadow of the citrine ray. And if you can see, it's like, oh, why am I being hoisted out of my castle and my tower? And this is all being done to me, right? I'm a victim of circumstances. I did not choose this. This is what this image likes to show, or it does show. When in actuality, the truth is that when the Tower card comes up, you did choose it. Your ensouled body chose this moment. It chose to be liberated. It is setting you free. It is setting itself free. So the soul, when it comes into the body, sets itself free by burning away and destroying the egoic structures that are killing the life force energy within the body. So when we bring our consciousness from our minds into our bodies, and something like this comes up, and you will notice an evolution too. So the more you bring your consciousness from your egoic mind and seat it within your ensouled body, when that card comes up, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I do feel really good. Oh yeah, I do feel a little free. Oh yeah, I am feeling a sense of expansion. Rather than something that you are so attached to because you think you need, being like, feeling like it's being taken away from you. The more we bring our consciousness from our minds and egos into our bodies, the more we realize and can feel the incredible gifts that this brings. And the body literally breaking down the walls that was limiting the life force energy. The body literally, like, you know how in the last video I talked about how our bodies, there are so many life force energy pathways, pleasure pathways, right? We are full of portals to pleasure, and they are blocked by what we learn in the culture around pleasure, right? We block off all those pleasure pathways in our body. And so the body then decides to be like, boom, out you go, boom, out you go, pushing away the walls that was destroying that life force energy, that was confining it and restricting it just a little bit. Pleasure is life force energy. Life force energy creates life, expands the self. So this is the expansion of the self and the body coming into its power to create. All right, so let's look at a few other tower images to see if we can uncover anything else. So this is from the tarot deck that I use in my monthly forecasts. This is the Tarot of the Spirit. And see, you can see here, this really highlights the electricity, right? The life force energy moving in that zigzag pattern up the column of us. So you can see it really highlights the electricity, the fire element of the tower, which is interesting because I have something to say about that in a few minutes. And then this one is from another one of my favorite tarot decks. This is from the Mary L. Tarot, and she also really highlights the fire, right? And even like the structure is just a scorched, shadowy, ashy remains. And then you see the red of that life force energy consuming the structure, taking it over. Okay, so now these aren't from tarot decks, but these are from oracle decks that use a lot of tarot symbology. And so this is from Kim Cran's Archetypes deck, the Storm. So again, we have that fire, that lightning, and then storms, as we know, is water, right? And I like this. She talks about how this is her version of the tower in this deck, and it kind of, for me, it brings it into the natural occurrence of this, right? And so that there is a reason, like when there is a storm, it's always, we know, it's like, oh, the energy is shifting, it's clearing. Storms clear energy out when they happen. And so when they're happening within us too, right, that storm, that tower energy is clearing out to open energetic pathways so it can receive more. And it brings in the water element, which I think is very important to this liberation initiation. Okay. All right, so one other card. Now this is also from one of Kim Cran's decks. This is from her alchemy deck. And this one is called the Drowned King. Okay, so this shows something very different, right? It's all the watery realms, and look at the remains of the king's objects at the bottom of the ocean. And if we saw here in this one, removal of the crown. So this is really showing the drowning, the surrender of the king, the ego, into the watery realm of the body and the intuition. So really the king is surrendering to the intuition, to the greater unknown. And this blue is just, I mean, when I look at that blue, when I think of this turquoise blue watery realm, like, it feels ecstatic to me. It feels incredibly, incredibly pleasurable. That's where I want to be. I want to be sinking and floating in that realm, right? From a body's perspective, if you think about the feeling that you have in your body when you're swimming and floating in that kind of water, it's like, it feels amazing, right? And you have to surrender into that and allow the water to keep your body afloat, while everything else, everything you don't need in the water, dissolves. Everything you don't need dissolves. You are held by a force that's very powerful and much greater than yourself. So, really love that image. So how can you practice this? Okay, so practice this when the card comes up for you. The next time you draw the Tower card or energy that has very similar Tower energy, think about, allow your ego to go through that. Oh my God, what does this mean? Oh God, what's going to happen? Okay, allow your ego to go through that, and then shift into the question of, what liberation is on the table for me now? Or what liberation has already happened? How am I more free now in this moment with this energy being shown to me than I was before? And then see if you can come into your body and feel into what your body is telling you, because this is a message. This is a message from your body, from your ensouled body. The consciousness, the higher consciousness of your body is actually sending you this message. So practice and bring your consciousness into your body by going into a feeling state. Feel your hands, feel your throat, your neck, your shoulders, feel your chest, feel your rib cage, feel your legs. Feel the energy moving in your body. You can move your body. You can do breath work. You can do all the things that helps you bring you into the body, and then go into stillness and just feel and listen and ask your body how it feels about this card. And you very, very well may be surprised. I bet you will be surprised about what you feel, what you hear, and what you know then. All right. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.